Well, welcome today. Thank you guys for joining us. It's an honor that you chose to be here. So today we're going to be talking about the formula of impressing first-time guests. So today we're going to jump right into it for time purposes. And I want to first talk to you about the law of 4 by 7. So the 4 by 7 law is that most people have already decided whether they're going to return to your campus after they've been on your campus for the first 7 minutes. So the 4 by 7 law is we want to make 4 positive impressions on them during the first 7 minutes that they're on our campus. So we're going to briefly go through those. But first, I need us to kind of go with us in our mind that you are a first-time guest at your church. So think of the questions you might be asking. First is, where do I park my car? Which door do I enter? Where are the restrooms? Where will my kids be? Which door do I enter to the sanctuary? Does anybody else smell that? Are they happy that I'm here? Will anyone sit with me? Where do I sit? So all the questions that we can think of in our mind to impress a first-time guest, we have to answer those questions before they ever even get on our campus. So first off, preparing for guests is a biblical idea. Colossians 4:5 tells us, live wisely among those who are not Christians and make the most of every opportunity. So preparing for guests is much more than just a church growth strategy. It is a biblical imperative that we must take seriously. We're not the only ones preparing for first-time guests. Anytime someone decides to attend your church, the enemy is going to do all that he can to sow pre-service discord. So most churches, actually 8 out of 10, will do nothing to correct a negative experience. But we're not going to be that church. We're going to do everything we can to correct that attitude. So how can we do this? Well, first off, we need to treat guests with wow factors. We need them to leave our campus remembering the things that we want them to remember, not the negative things the enemy wants them to remember. So first-time guests are very important to us, and we want them to be treated well and be wowed that they decided to show up at our campus. So first off, we're going to direct guests with parking. A parking team conveys to a first-time guest that first off, you're expecting them. Second of all, that you're excited that they're here. So the parking team needs to, one, know that their job is not just to park people. They're not parking cars, they're parking people. So they need to be friendly, excited, and show a smiling face and a wave as people enter their parking lot. The second thing is we need to greet guests with hosts. Host conveys, again, that we are excited and that we are anticipating a first-time guest. Has anyone ever had a knock on their door? You've had to get dressed before you go answer the door because you wasn't expecting them? That's a visitor. But a guest, we've cleaned our house, we've invited them, we've probably cooked a meal, right? That's why we use the word guest, not visitor. Visitor implies that we weren't expecting you. A guest implies that we were. So as we set out a parking team and then we set out hosts, it allows us to convey to people that we are expecting them. The second thing is we need to layer our hosts. So they need to be first off in the parking lot with the parking team. Second of all, at the front doors. They need to be in the foyer as well as in the sanctuary, hosting and greeting people and talking with them, making the environment fun and exciting. The third thing that we need to meet out of the 4 by 7 law is we need to greet guests with cleanliness and environment. Environment says a lot. Most people go to businesses and purchase from them because of environment. Let's use Starbucks as an example. Starbucks does not have that amazing of a coffee to pay $7. People come and pay that because they need to know that they have an awesome environment. At Starbucks, they remember your name. They remember your drink. They treat you and not just your order. And so that's why we need to make awesome experiences for our first-time guests. So one is that your building needs to have clear signage. Your landscaping needs to be clean and neat. Your building needs to be picked up of clutter. And that will be some of the ways that you can create a cleanliness and a great environment. Remember this next sentence. Write it down. Everything speaks to first-time guests. Everything. So when you walk through your building, look at it through the eyes of a first-time guest and know that everything will speak to them. We need to treat guests with refreshments. Give out coffee or water for free. It's not only a great way to show generosity, which is a very big biblical principle, the most talked about topic in the entire Bible, but it also creates a way for our hosts to connect with their guests because they're lingering a little longer in our lobby area. Next, we need to direct guests with signage. Well-designed signage is necessary. It needs to be aesthetically pleasing, clean, neat, and minimal. Only have on the signage what is essential to get people where they need to be. I would suggest location, arrow, logo, as clean as possible. The fourth thing we need to do is seat guests with ushers. Ushers needs to be layered throughout the sanctuary, and they need to show a level of excellence and professionalism. It shows our guests that we care about them. It shows them that we want to treat them well, and just provides a high level of customer service. They also need to be very professional while handling money and communion, which shows the delicacy that we care about the things that God has given us. So 7 reasons to develop your church's first impressions. Well, first off, you already have a first impression. Is it the one that you want to have or to be giving? The second is it provides an opportunity to put a lot of people into ministry. The Bible tells us that pastors or leaders are to let the saints do the work of the ministry. Our job is to create ministry opportunities. And creating this many opportunities for people to serve will open up a lot of areas for people to jump into ministry. The third thing, it preemptively answers the first question everyone has is, can I make friends here? If you do these 4 simple things that we're suggesting, you're going to have a very friendly church. And people are excited about that and will know that they can make friends. Number 4, it creates positive energy. Everyone loves to go into a place that's positive, that's uplifting, that's fun. And when you add this many people smiling and waving and connecting with people, there will be an energy that just draws people to your church. The 5th thing is it conveys a level of professionalism and excellence. You can be excellent and not spend a lot of money. Everything that I've just suggested you can do with $0 or just a couple of $100 in signage and coffee. But we want to create a way to keep things clean, neat, and in doing that, it provides a level of excellence. Number 6, it tells guests that they're just not a number. Every seat has a story. Every person who comes through your doors has a story, and they're important to God. And when we do everything we can to create a great environment, a clean environment, and to let them come into a place knowing that we care about them, it shows them that if we care about the details of our area and our sanctuary, our foyer, the outside of our building, then they're going to know that we are going to care about the details of their life. The last thing, 90% of churches are front door churches, which means that front door churches means that people are going to come through the front door and they're going to leave out the back door. And showing that we care about first-time guests will ensure to them that we're going to do everything in our power to make for sure that they want to come back for a second visit. So in closing, I just want to recap. The 4x7 law is that we want them to have 4 positive experiences during the first 7 minutes that they're on our campus. It is a biblical imperative that we do this. In the Bible, they always sought after lost things. And in doing this, we are seeking out the lost. And when we do that, we are most like Jesus. So ask yourself each week, are we doing everything we possibly can to impress our first-time guests through the 4 things? We're directing them, are we greeting them, are we treating them, and are we seating them? Thank you guys for being with me today and learning how to impress first-time guests.